This is the stupidest picture on the Boris graph. Even if the call came from the White House, did billions of benefits to the UK society flow through the phone line? What is the grin about? And what is the point of this stupid headline? But then there is another stupid headline. Which is admitting that the daily propaganda for Johnson about vaccine is a criminal lie. If people are being asked to stay within the lockdown even after being vaccinated, then what's the point of the vaccine? In fact, this warning could be admission, must be treated as the admission that the vaccine is a joke. It's not a serious deterrent to the virus. So the number of the people killed, according to the government's admission, is just under 100,000. But it's more than that. And there is a cartoon showing animals, two animals. Are the dogs? Telling one another, apparently, there is a crazy plan to reintroduce humans into parts of the UK. And there is a criminally corrupt and racist promotion for Kate Middleton, which says 10 years of the Kate effect. And it criminally credits her in its stupid Stella magazine supplement that came with the Sunday Boris graph, that the Duchess who influenced us all, she most certainly did not influence us. The criminals, zombifying morons, how dare they run this claim? And then it has got the audacity to say that homeopaths are peddling dangerous vaccine myths. I mean, the Boris graph itself is spreading dangerous and untruthful, contradictory claims every day or every edition. And there is a piece about Wuhan, the city in China, where restrictions return after new Chinese outbreak. There is a dispatch from Sophia Yan, China correspondent in Wuhan. And they're saying that there is a claim by researchers that nasal spray could prevent COVID infection. There's a piece about London elected mayor in the name of London at the expense of London. So the councils that introduced unfair and irrational road closures face a battle with residents after a judge found that Sadiq Khan shut streets unlawfully, says the lawyer who won the case. Now, this is about similar things being done by the crooked John Biggs, still incumbent in the corrupt post of the elected mayor at the expense of Tower Hamlets. And we shall be looking at the actual state of the so-called campaign to have the corrupt criminal case post of elected mayor scrapped. And if the criminals are able to mobilize under exploiting the excuse of the pandemic, so that the referendum or the equivalent, COVID equivalent of the referendum in changed circumstances, to have the post of mayor scrapped is sabotaged. It is possible that they could succeed. And we shall be updating in due course with more details on that one. And so there is this woman called Emma Rebbe, who is the chief executive of the Trussell Trust, which is the biggest food bank network in a pandemic. And she says she and her husband hope to see a UK without the need for food banks. There is an economic tidal wave coming, and what's really evident is that not everyone has a lifeboat. I have the best and the worst job in the world. It's a real privilege to work with such incredible people every day, but I would be delighted to one day be put out of business. And this is typical Fleet Street kind of plug for a charity without actually telling the truth about why there is food bank, the need for food bank, and why people are without money to buy food. Basic income, universal income is a slogan, but it's not being supported by the Fleet Street. Nothing, not the Observer on Sunday, and not the Daily Mirror or the Sunday Mirror or the Sunday People. These are the titles that are supposed to be not conservative, but they are conservative in all but name. And look at this stupid lie being peddled in the scum as well. Joe, hello Bojo. Prime Minister's very warm call from Biden is first in Europe. What the hell do they mean? He got a call from White House. So what? What does that mean? Why does it have to be the basis and the substance of the call? And this shows that the majority of the people in the gullibles are taken for fools. And there is a criminal called Craig McKinley, Craig McKinley is a criminal, liar, and a crook who is writing a piece in the Dirty Diggers Scum on Sunday, condemning Theresa May for criticizing Boris Johnson at all. And the headline is that May has some front to stab Boris in the back. There are two golden rules in the Conservative Party. Number one, don't do blue on blue. And number two, don't do blue on blue. This is why a sense of betrayal was felt by many colleagues when Theresa May unleashed a ferocious and calculated attack on Boris Johnson over Brexit and foreign aid this week. She did no such thing. What Theresa May said was very conservative and typically untruthful. Untruthful not against Boris Johnson, because she didn't say anything serious about Boris Johnson at all. The untruthfulness of the statement by Theresa May was in the fact that she claimed that Johnson had done something that was contrary to the global moral leadership of the UK. Now, that was the lie. Not that Boris Johnson hadn't done it, but what Boris Johnson had done, Boris Johnson had done before, which is to tell lies and which is to betray the basic universal concept of objectively defined morality and moral responsibility and care and concern and compassion. Theresa May's use of the phrase, as we have said before in the last week, that there was a thing called the Britain having a global moral leadership. That was the lie. There never was moral leadership by Britain. And the fact that there is a kind of desperate daily bid to deny the racism that the British kind of governments and British political parties practice and have practiced for decades, centuries. That is the reality. And Theresa May could never even understand moral leadership, even if it hit her as a big stick, because she introduced against the Windrush generations and other so-called migrants the official direction given to the police and the Home Office, personnel and the Home Office operations to create a hostile environment against people without documentation in this country, so-called migrants. So, while David Cameron, Theresa May's predecessor in post as the so-called Prime Minister, ridiculed Jeremy Corbyn for going to Calais and meeting people seeking asylum in the UK. And Theresa May did the equivalent. Even before David Cameron had spoken with disgusting, racist profanity and brazenness, condemning Jeremy Corbyn for even going to the Calais camp. So Theresa May did not repudiate or denounce or distance herself from the Cameron racist mocking and ridiculing of Jeremy Corbyn over the Corbyn visit to the Calais migrants camp. And Theresa May did not condemn the French for ever increasing harshness against the migrants. Quite apart from the fact that the UK treatment of and hostility towards migrants is as bad as the French, or even worse as that of the French. And so therefore, Craig McKinley, the crook, has some front in condemning Theresa May for a non-existent attack on Boris Johnson. Craig McKinley is the crook who lied and was part of the lies by the Conservative Party during the election concerned that Channel 4 News, as investigated by Michael Crick, unveiled and revealed. But because of the corrupt agenda followed by the judicial bureaucracy, the prosecution of Craig McKinley and the Conservative Party fell apart. That is not because there was not enough evidence. That is because despite the evidence, the court system, the court bureaucrats and the court bureaucracy chose to exonerate and treat as impune from accountability and liability the Conservative crooks and Craig McKinley. McKinley has no ground whatsoever to attack anybody else on moral ground or on grounds of principles. And the fact that this is all going on and the Labour Party members of Parliament in the House of Commons failed to make use of the incident that Theresa May staged of appearing to attack Boris Johnson's lack of kind of loyalty to the British tradition of moral leadership. It shows that the leadership of the majority of the party, if you like, or party-based majority in the House of Commons, as fronted by Keir Starmer, that leadership itself is sick and sickeningly unfit for purpose. And none of the Fleet Street papers, including the Observer, including the Sunday Mirror, including this Sunday People, has got a clue as to what to tell the readers about what. They're stuffed with contents, but they're stuffed with rubbishy, lying, diversionary, stupid, inappropriate, irrelevant contents. So there are several thousand pages between them, 11 papers or so, and there is nothing in there of substance. And so what we are looking at is a kind of wasteland Britain. Moral wasteland, moral darkness, and moral bankruptcy. And there is nothing in the behavior of Keir Starmer or his cabal of chosen so-called shadow cabinet ministers that actually constitutes any action that the country and the society and ordinary people need, deserve, and desperately missing on or missing out on. Every edition of the Fleet Street Papers, every edition contains contradiction within the edition itself and contradiction with the previous kind of printed versions of the paper, given paper itself. And there is this headline in the Observer which says that Grand Shafts has caused fury over mass outbreak of COVID at the DVLA. That is only confirming the unfitness of Grand Shafts, who is a cabinet member in the cabal fronted by Johnson, who is the most unfit for purpose fronter of any regime in the UK's history.